Welcome to Husker Storm blog. This is my Wisconsin at Nebraska prediction video. The name of this game is pretty much revenge here. That's the theme here. Nebraska got thumped by the Badgers last year, 48-17, in which Russell Wilson and Monty Ball completely carved up the black shirts. Team Magic looks for redemption in this one, as he refers to that game last year as his worst game ever. He threw 3 interceptions. And with Burkhead back at full health and Monty Ball probable, this could be a blowout at the end of the Huskers, or it could be a defensive battle. It just depends on what Taylor Martinez shows up. Most of Nebraska's offensive struggles and coaching staff struggles offensively come in the second half. The defenses make adjustments. They're not able to adjust to what the defense has made. And, we've seen time and time again they fail to score in the second half. UCLA, they only scored 6 points. Michigan, Wisconsin, and South Carolina, I believe Michigan, they scored 3. The other 2, they scored nothing. And, and a lot of it's been unforced errors and good defensive plays, and then there's just, coaching staff panics, relies on the pass too much, there's meltdowns, Team Magic is under too much pressure. This cannot happen. He must show that his teams have matured, his coaching staff is more experienced than they have been, they're more mature. If Nebraska can play to their ability, this could get ugly quick. The uniforms, we got the Adidas unrivaled uniforms that Nebraska and Wisconsin will both be wearing. They look pretty close to the same. When I saw Nebraska's at first, I was like, wow, this sucks. That's terrible. And then I saw Wisconsin's, and now I feel really bad for Wisconsin fans. That's a horrible uniform. Whatever, I'm not a huge fan of the alternate uniforms in this one. So let's go to our key players. Offensively, it's got to be Jared Abbrederis. He must stretch the field vertically if Wisconsin wants to stay in this one. Joel Stave is his best pass is arguably the deep ball. Being so stationary, Nebraska is going to blitz him and blitz. They're going to bring the blitz a lot. Nebraska's going to have no fear throwing it in the box, and therefore Jared Abbrederis is going to have a good game. If Wisconsin wants to stay in this one, he's got to get open for Stave. And, we'll see. I think he's going to get himself a touchdown pass in this one. And if they want to have success, he's going to have to be their main offensive player, I believe. Taylor Martinez is in the game, always on his shoulders. He's always the key player for Nebraska offensively. Whiskey's going to load the box. They're going to force Nebraska to throw the ball. They've got a solid front 7 besides their defensive ends. They had their top 5 defensive ends are hurt. Now which ones are going to play, I'm not sure. Now which ones are full strength, I'm not sure. So they're a little shaky there. But Team Magic's going to have to bring at least his B game in this one through the air. If Nebraska wants to have success offensively, he needs to stretch the field, draw some people out of the box, and I think he's going to be able to do so. Defensively, the key for Nebraska is Baker Steinkuhler. He must show that he can play the run. He's got to have some presence inside and force the Badgers to throw the ball. He doesn't have to have a great pass rush. He just needs to be there on the run. And Nebraska's going to blitz a lot, so his ability to stop the run is going to allow Nebraska to blitz more. Mike Taylor, or you could say Chris Borland, the lack of depth on defensive end and the injuries on defensive end, that will be Nebraska's first target. Wisconsin's vulnerable there. Nebraska's going to attack that. But Wisconsin's got 2 really solid linebackers who have played superb thus far this year. So Taylor and Borland are going to have to hide those weaknesses. And they need to attack the option and the zone read without hesitation. They're going to be used there a lot to stop that. It's not only the run game that they need to be involved in, they also need to be involved in the pass game. Nebraska has probably the best duo of tight ends in the Big Ten, and they're going to be used to cover them. And they're going to need to cover them well in this one. 5 key stats going into this game. Wisconsin's opposing third down conversion, 29%. That's really good. Nebraska's third down conversion as an offense is 56%. That's really good. Something's got to give there. We'll see what it is. I say we'll probably see him about 40%, somewhere in between there, 42%. Nebraska has not allowed a rushing touchdown, and I think that's going to continue. Nebraska has only allowed 2 red zone touchdowns out of 13 tries. That's the second best in the nation to South Carolina. It's a 21% success rate for touchdowns. And Whiskey has struggled against ranked opponents on the road, and they've struggled as an underdog in general. The odds are Nebraska a 13.5-point favorite, with the line at 50.5, which I think it reaches about there. 13.5 favorite. I take the over, but not by a lot. The mental game. Remember Texas 2010, an overhyped game where Nebraska was going to seek revenge over their Big 12 championship loss to the Longhorns. Read out the world. Well, Nebraska came out overhyped and flat, and they never rebounded. And this cannot be take 2 of that. This game is not quite as hyped, but it's still a huge game, and it's a revenge game. So Taylor Martinez has come out a little bit more polished in this one than he did in that one. Stat predictions. I've got Aberderis with 1 big touchdown reception in this one. Like a 40-yard touchdown reception. Martinez with 200 yards in the air and 2 touchdowns. Burkhead with 100 on the ground and a touchdown. 125-plus rushing yards on the ground for Wisconsin. I think they can get about to 150. And I think Stave is going to get sacked 4 times, and he's going to throw 2 interceptions. My score prediction is Nebraska 27-13. This one could get ugly. It could be even worse. It could be Nebraska 34-7 or something stupid, or even worse than that. Or it could be 17-13. It really depends on what Taylor Martinez shows up and how good is that Wisconsin defense. They're vulnerable against the pass, but they played well against the run. Can Nebraska expose their vulnerability to the pass and their lack of speed? We'll see. I got Nebraska winning this one by 14, 27-13. Check back for my Week 6 predictions in about a week. And thanks for watching. Go Big Red.